Alright, so today our goal is to review and practice strategies for using partial quotients division to divide whole numbers. Some of you wanted to go over this again, so we're going to do it. Let's make sure we get good at it, alright? Our first step is to make an estimate. Remember, estimates need to be quick and easy to do without paper or pencil in our head. So 414 divided by 16, that's our problem. Well, 414, that's close to 400. Now I need to think, what is 16 close to that I could use? Well, 16 is pretty close to 20. So that's easy and quick to do in my head. 400 divided by 20, and that equals 20. So pause the video and get that written down in your estimate box. Now that you have that written down in your estimate box, let's go ahead and set it up the traditional way. So let's set up 414, and we're going to divide that by 16 out front here. And don't forget to put your vertical line here, because we're going to keep our partial quotients over here and then do our related subtraction on the left. Pause the video and get that down. Now that you've paused the video, let's think. How many 16s are there in 414? Well, I could think 16 times 10 is 160, but I'm actually going to think to see if I can get a little closer. And I'm going to use my estimate to help me. I know my estimate is 20, so my quotient is going to be close to 20. So I'm going to think, what is 16 times 20? Well, I know 16 times 2 equals 32, so 16 times 20 is 320. So I'm going to use 20 as my first partial quotient. So 16 times 20 is 320. And then I'm going to subtract 414 minus 320. 4 minus 0 is 4. Can't take 2 from 1, so I'm going to go next door and grab some more 10s. Be careful in your subtraction. Make sure you're doing it correctly. 11 now minus 2 is 9. And 3 minus 3 is 0. So pause the video and get that down. Alright, so now I'm ready for my second partial quotient, my second step. I need to think to myself, how many 16s are there in 94? Well, I know 16 times 2 is 32, so I know there's at least 2 16s. I'm going to think, what if I just doubled that? So 16 times 4. Well, let's think. 32 doubled is 64, so 16 times 4 is 64. So I know there's at least 4 16s in 64. So I'm going to do 16 times 4, and I'm going to do 64. And now I'm going to subtract 94 minus 64. Well, 4 minus 4 is 0. 9 minus 6 is 3. So now I have 30 left. Pause the video and get that step down. Now that you have that, let's think to ourselves, how many 16s are there in 30? Well, I know 16 times 2 is 32. So that's too much. So there can only be one 16 in 30. So I'm going to put 1 for my partial quotient there. And 1 times 16 is 16. So on the left, I'm going to put 16. And I'm going to subtract. Well, 30 minus 16. Well, I can't take 6 from 0. So I'm going to go next door, grab some more 1s. And now I'm going to do 10 minus 6. Well, that's 4. And now 2 minus 1 is 1. So I have 14 left over. There aren't any 16s in 14, so that's just my remainder. So now my last step is to add up my partial quotients. 20 plus 4 plus 1 is 25, and then I have 14 remaining. So 414 divided by 16 results in 25 with a remainder of 14. That's it. Easy peasy. So pause the video and make sure you get your answer down. Alright, so now that you've paused the video, let's do one more together. And you guys got this. You got it, alright? So we're actually going to do 6,356, and we're going to divide that by 54. Don't be afraid of the large number. We're going to work through it. So first, let's estimate. So 6,356. We're just going to estimate that to be 6,000. And then I'm going to divide that by 54. Well, I need an easy number that I could use. So I could use 50, okay? Or I could use 60. I think either one of those I could estimate 6,000, do 6,000 divided by both of those. I don't think it even matters, really. So I'm going to pick 60 just to make it really, really super easy because I want my estimates to always be easy. 6,000 divided by 60 is 100. So pause the video and get your estimate down. Now that you have your estimate down, let's go ahead and let's write 6,356 divided by 54 in the traditional partial quotient algorithm way. So I'm going to put 6,356 here. And I'm going to put my 54 out front. And then I'm going to make my vertical line here. Because remember, my partial quotients go to the right, and my related subtraction will go to the left. So pause the video and get that down. So now that you have that, again, just like last time, I'm actually going to use my estimate to figure out where to begin. I know my estimate's going to be around 100, so my quotient will be around there. So I'm going to just first think, are there at least 154s in 6,356? Well, the answer is, yeah, there is. 100 times 54 is 5,400. So I'm going to use that for my first partial quotient. I'm going to use 100. So 100 times 54 is 5,400. Go ahead and pause the video and get that down. Now that you have that, let's subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. 5 minus 0 is 5. Can't take 4 from 3, so I'm going to go next door, take a 5. Make that 13. So now I have 13 minus 4, which is 956. So pause the video again and get that down. So now that you have that, we need to think, how many 54s are there in 956? Well, again, I'm going to use nice, friendly, easy numbers. I'm going to just take 54 and multiply that by 10 because that's easy. That's 540. So I know there's at least 10 54s in 956. So 10 times 54 is 540. And now I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. 5 tens minus 4 tens is 110. 900 minus 500 is 400. So now I need to think to myself, how many 54s are there in 416? This can be a little challenging now. But I'm going to kind of do some mental partial products in my head. I'm going to think, well, I know there's not 10 54s because 10 54s was 540, and that'd be too much. So I'm just going to think, what about 5? So 54 times 5. Well, I know 5 times 50 is 200. 5 times 50 is 250. So I know 5 times 4 is 20. So 250 plus 20 is 270. So I know there's at least 5 54s in 416. So 5 times 54 is 270. And now I'm going to subtract. 6 minus 0 is 6. I can't take 7 from 1, so I'm going to go next door and make it a 3. Make that an 11. 11 minus 7 is 4. And 300 minus 200 is 100. So pause the video and make sure you get these steps down. Now that you have that down, let's think, how many 54s are there in 156? Well, I'm going to just try 2 54s. I know 2 54s, so 2 times 54, well, I know 2 times 50 is 100, 2 times 4 is 8, so 100 plus 8 is 108. So 2 times 54 is 108. So there's at least 2 54s in 146. So now I'm going to subtract 146 minus 108. Can't take 8 from 6, so I'm going to go next door, grab a 10, add that to my 1, so 6 plus 10 is 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. 3 tens minus 0 tens is 3 tens. So now I have 38 left. Well, there's no more 54s in 38, all right? So that's just what I have left over. So my last step then is just to add up my partial products. 100 plus 10 is 110, plus 5 is 115, plus 2 is 117, with a remainder of 38. So even though we had this large number, we were able to come up with our quotient. So 6,356 divided by 54 results in a quotient of 117 with a remainder of 38. See, I told you guys would get this. All right, so now what to do? Complete the next two problems on the back. Make sure you make an estimate and only do partial quotients, please. See me when you're done with those two problems. When you're done, if you have not finished Math Journal page 63, please finish that journal page. And again, see me when you're done. Then complete the next partial quotient worksheet and see me when you're done after that. And then finally, play Division Top It with a partner of your choice. And after you're done with a game of Division Top It, work on some Khan Academy skills. All right? And remember, if you made it through this screencast, you rock. Off you go, 5th grade.